gold, ability materials, gear, training materials. I have hoarded all of these, and now I will use them to build the characters and teams. I am Dogbert. I will be your guide on this journey as we try to discover if they are worth it. Hello and welcome to Worth It. I am Dogbert. No, I have not abandoned you all. I am still around. I've just been very busy in real life and unable to make any content, really. And I'm very busy with sports cards right now. Check out my other channel, Dogbert's Cards. Down in the description below. Could use some more subscribers if you could all help out. Anyway, on to Worth It now. We are looking at Kraven today. The newest member of the Sinister Six and the first new release character of the Superior Six. Now, if you haven't seen this, I am very hyped about this team because of all the plug-and-play capabilities, the different mix and matches we can do. And believe it or not, Kraven, I think, could not only have a place in Superior 6 and Sinister 6, there could be some opportunities to use him elsewhere as well, because of some unique abilities that he does do in other game modes. So let's look at the pros and cons of him. His pros: he's a city skill character. This is big for Dark Dimension, because he only needs 3. He's kind of middle of the road as far as he needs 3 sets there, so 66 of the different skill pieces all come together in order to bring him up into Gear 18. Not the most expensive, not the cheapest, but that is pretty good for a skill character who is very meta and will work very well with Ghost Rider Robbie because he does put out bleeds. And we all know Ghost Rider Robbie is the star of City. He has a turn 1 ability block. Now this is, I can't stress enough how valuable this can be to just immediately go and ability block somebody turn 1. That is incredibly valuable. Again, this is where he can have more plug and play capabilities coming into later things like in Crucible, War, etc. He doesn't really have much tie to Crucible. Superior 6 is supposed to be a Cosmic Crucible team. He really only has one call out in his special. It makes it so he hits all the enemies. He hits harder, 70% extra crit versus support. He'll apply ability block to all controller enemies, and it makes it so he's guaranteed to hit all enemies on the board. That's in Crucible. Outside of Crucible, he does chain to 4 adjacent targets. That's really the only change. He doesn't do the ability block to all controllers. He doesn't get the extra 70% extra crit chance. So the thing, that's what's really weird about his special, but it's a pretty good special overall. He gives offense down for 2 turns, flips 2 random effects. So he's a really interesting character. He applies also the ability block. He flips immunity on that too. It's a really good special. His passive is also great. His passive is very interesting. This is how he gains charge. Every time the enemy takes a turn, he gains charge. When he gains a charge, if he did not currently have charge, though, he'll flip stealth on all his enemies to disrupt it if his charges were cleared. Otherwise, he just gains charge. And then on top of that, when he gains a charge, he can get up to 10. He'll flip slow on an ally that has slow into like a speed up, which is incredibly valuable. He'll also flip a heal block and, get rid of that heal block, turn it into a regen. Enemies of offense down that he's going against cannot gain death proof. He gets more damage per charge, and he is giving out the focus to not just himself, but to any Sinister 6 ally. That's important because that means it can work with the Sinister 6 or Superior 6. I can even see changing with ISOs on some characters because he is giving them 60% focus. If he's not on the team, you might not need to run some characters as skirmisher, but when he's on the team, you might be able to run him as something totally different. This is where this plug and play thing comes into play with him, And then how the mix and matching, the theory crafting of the Superior 6, Sinister 6 stuff is going to be very interesting to see what we come up with. His ultimate is crazy. He attacks all enemies for 350% damage. He gives them all bleed, offense down, and slow. That's pretty good in itself. Very valuable in Dark Dimension with Robbie because of all those bleeds. But also on top of this, he's going to flip Death Proof. He's going to flip Stealth and get that all off every single character over on your enemy side. That is pretty crazy that he's taking away Stealth even. It means somebody's stuck in Stealth that you couldn't hit that maybe you want to kill. Well, guess what? He'll get them out of there for you. And he does get 5% extra damage per charge. That might not sound like much, but you got to remember, it's whenever the enemy takes a turn, so that can be very quick. You can get up to 10. That's an extra 50% damage. This actually makes it so it's an interesting thing to play him, because when you look at his special and ultimate, which we're going to talk about in a second, they clear charge. So his cons, he does have high cooldowns. The ultimate being a 6 turn, and his special being a 5. So you're going to have to figure that into your play. If you want to take him into the Dark Dimension, you got to remember he's probably going to be doing a lot of basic. This also brings up the value of the basic T4 if you're using him in longer matches, because you're going to be using that a lot. And his special and ultimate, like I said, clears his charges. Now there's goods and bads to this. You clear the charges, you do lose that extra bonus damage because you used a special or ultimate. However, this brings us back to when he doesn't have charge, he'll then flip Stealth to disrupt it on enemies that are under Stealth. So you might want to be thinking about, do I really want to use a special ultimate right now? Is somebody about to go into Stealth and I need to flip to disrupt it? Do I want to lose that extra damage? Maybe I only have 2 or 3 charges. I want to build up those charges. Maybe my ultimate's going to be coming up in another turn and I want to do some big damage. So maybe I don't want to use the special right now because the ultimate's going to be ready next turn. Things like that. You're going to have to really watch how you play them, what the situation is, what makes sense for you. You just don't want to be mashing buttons with this character. And he uses the same unique as Weaver 99 in Shang-Chi. This is more for Dark Dimension planning. Weaver is definitely a character people might be taking in, but that is a global character, whereas 99 and Shang-Chi are both city characters who would be competing with him in city for those uniques. I know 99 is a cheaper bio character that people are looking at. He does split out bleeds and does some great stuff himself. But these are all older characters. Whether or not you want to keep investing in them and bring them into city, that's up to you. Just remember, if you want to bring Kraven too, you're going to be doubling up on that unique, and that could be a game stopper, depending on how many. I mean, if you have tons of this unique, who cares? He does need someone to heal him. He has no passive healing, so he's going to need someone with ISO healer on him, or that does heals to keep him alive if he takes any damage. If you play it right, though, you can probably much keep him protected, hopefully, but eventually you will need to heal him up somewhat. And he needs 2 or more Superior 6 allies to hand out Safeguard if you T4 his passive. On spawn, if he has 2 or more Superior 6 allies, he'll give Safeguard to himself and all Sinister 6 allies. Here you go again with the whole theory crafting. This pretty much does lock you into bringing 2 Superior 6 allies with him and then a couple Sinister 6, and it would all get Safeguard. This happens regardless of Cosmic Crucible or not. Like I said, a lot of his stuff is not tied to Cosmic Crucible, but we should keep that in mind if we want to get Safeguard. So, is Kraven worth it? Well, for Cosmic Crucible, yes, that's what he's built for. That's what his team's built for. It's supposed to be for Cosmic Crucible, but you can also see there's a lot of plug and play with those bleeds and stuff. It could work well with a Hella Zim combo with the Undying because of the bleeds. Obviously, he can work with Ghost Rider Robbie because of the bleeds again. He can flip Death Proof, so he can flip Stealth if you're going against somebody that has a lot of stealth. Not that there's a room that gives stealth for evades or anything like right now. Nothing major. Raids, not really. You can't really be used in raids. Yes, we do have, Beta has the Sinister 6 call out, but he's not really needed. You're not going to really be putting him on a skill team. This isn't Gamma where we had the special clouds where we need certain characters. He's not one of them. Arena, there's really no place for him in the arena right now. He doesn't do anything too amazing where he would have an impact there. War, yes, I can see him having a definite place in war, whether it's with his team, with Sinister Six, or like I said, he could work with Undying, work with Ghost Rider Robbie for splitting things up, doing some hybrids. I could see him coming into play again with those hybrids, doing some weird things. In Dark Dimension, absolutely would take him. I have been testing him out in Dark Dimension to see what he's like in the lower Dark Dimensions, Dark Dimension 5, for instance. And he is absolutely amazing, especially when paired up with Ghost Rider Robbie. He is just absolutely great. He does a ton of damage. He does survive pretty well. Like I said, you do need to heal him. So with all this said, my suggested gear level is gear 18, level 95. This is a character you want to think about bringing to Dark Dimension 6. I know I am bringing him into Dark Dimension 6 City. So keep that in mind. And so don't forget, check out Dogbert Cards. Like and subscribe if you liked it. Like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And until next time, everybody.